Alright, time for everything to go wrong. Okay. Alrighty. Now's the time. Still, I couldn't just give up. Ashley, please, I need to talk to you. Can we go? Without a word, she turned on her heel and headed out of the room, leaving the others behind. A wave of relief washed over me. I got on Ashley's case for being so trusting, but this time it was going to work in my favor, he says. I followed her out of the room, expecting her to find a corner for us to talk in, but to my surprise, she kept walking. Ashley? She stepped up the staircase without bothering to look at me. I followed her in a rush. Ashley, are you going to talk to me? By the time I reached the top of the stairs, a door slammed. Ashley was in her room and it didn't seem like she was coming out. Ashley? Please, will you talk to me? I can explain everything. I was met with only silence. Well, okay. I'll explain now. I don't know how any of it happened, but I swear I'm innocent. I would never betray everyone here, certainly not for a lousy £100 I didn't even need. The camera footage is from when the register broke and I had to—
Flynn, I am going to say this nicely. Please stop being belligerent and leave me alone.
What?
If you insist on continuing to bother me, I'll have to call James or Angelo to get you away from my door. This is stalking or harassment or something.
But I just want a chance to explain.
No. Leave, now.
There was nothing left I could do. She was right. To continue trying to talk to her when she'd said no would be creepy. I'd be no better than an actual criminal at that point. No? I don't think that's how that works. But I mean, you can't force anybody to listen to you, it's just knocking your head against a wall. Okay. I'm leaving. I'll be in my room if you want to talk. I waited to hear some kind of response, but heard nothing. Finally, I headed back to my room and sat on my bed, staring at the wall in front of me. What was I going to do now? I didn't have a job. I probably didn't have any friends. I might not even have a place to live soon. 100 thoughts swirled through my mind and I was exhausted. There was no point in staying up. I got ready for bed. I was about to turn off the light when I heard something that sounded like a loose leaf of paper. Puzzled, I glanced around the room until I realized a paper had been slid under my doorway. I picked it up. A short note was written in Ashley's handwriting.
Flynn, I've been hurt before and I don't want to relive that experience. You once told me that I shouldn't trust people until they proved themselves worthy of my trust. I guess this means I trusted you too soon. Since you're clearly not worthy, this should be the end of it. We can still be civil towards each other, but I think that's it. Ashley.
Wow! Man, I forgot how ice cold Ashley is with her notes and responses to things. It still freaking bothers me that she'll trust any rando and Brendan, but not Flynn/Malia. Like, there she draws the line. I'm like, why is it now? I folded up the letter, feeling tears prick my eyes. Screw this, screw all of this, I was going to sleep. I flipped off the light and crawled into the covers, hoping things would look better in the morning. Just before I fell asleep, a thought trailed through my mind. If Ashley was finally learning to protect herself, at least some good might come from this. Oh, Flynn! Too pure for this world. Goodness gracious me. Ah, what a boy. Such a sweet boy. Alright. Let's do the awkward talking things. I entered the kitchen for breakfast that morning and stopped dead in my tracks. Ashley.
Oh, good morning, Flynn.
Good morning? Ashley went back to her meal after greeting me as if nothing were amiss. I cooked some eggs, feeling horrendously awkward. When they were done, I put them on my plate and awkwardly glanced around the room.
It's fine. You can sit here. I'm done anyways.
Oh, thank you. I sat down as Ashley rose and cleaned up her dishes. Within minutes, she left the room. I guess that was that. Alright. Alright, Brendan. Don't even try to embarrass yourself. Alright. Ah. Alright, we didn't miss anything. No, we didn't. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. It felt odd entering the Crafty Crown now that I no longer worked here. At least I would never have to wear that silly apron again. No, that didn't really make me feel any better. On the bright side, I still had a place to drink that was near where I lived, and now I didn't have to worry about mopping up vomit or anything. What are you doing here? Too bad I couldn't mop up other kinds of trash. I wanted a drink. Is that a crime? I'm surprised you have the nerve to show your face after you got fired for theft. Some of the nearby patrons blinked then eyed me suspiciously. Hi, everyone! You should get out of here before Oscar sees you and calls the cops. Am I officially banned? What do you think?
No, you're not.
Surprised, I looked over at Ashley. She shrugged at me, her face blank.
You're allowed to be a customer here if you want.
At her words, Brendan grunted and walked away. I took a seat at the bar.
What can I get you?
Oh, can I have a White Russian?
Coming right up.
Ashley disappeared just as quickly as she came. She set my glass in front of me and immediately rushed towards another customer. Even with the big tip I gave her, all I got in response was a perfunctory smile.
Thanks.
We were still on speaking terms. Sort of. Though I might have preferred the silent treatment. At least then I would know she felt something. Oof. Well, that was quite a bit different from Malia. Interesting. I was on my way out for a walk when... Ashley! Are you alright? She stared at me for a moment, then her face crumpled and her hands flew up to hide her eyes. Elbows out, she pushed past me and into the hostel. Well, never mind then. I couldn't tell if it was my fault she was upset or if something else was bothering her, but I hated not being able to help. It was pretty clear that she didn't want me around. I hate this part every time. Alright. Oh, is this our first time with the whole Danny Piggy thing? I think it might be, actually. We'll let them have their thing. I don't really want to be choked to death by Danny right now. Oh, okay. I'm like, what? Oh. Thinking about Danny. Every conversation I'd had with Ashley since the theft incident had been polite, friendly, and perfunctory. The bare minimum of conversation that had to be achieved in order to maintain civility. To be honest, it was kind of impressive. An ability like that could completely come in handy in the future if I was avoiding people like my landlord. Which, I guess, was the point. Avoiding me. My relationships with the rest were mending, or at least starting to. Ashley was the only one who was stubbornly holding out. This too bothers me. Really? But there was nothing I could do. If she didn't want to talk to me, she wouldn't talk to me. A restless energy filled me. I couldn't stand staying indoors. Finally, I put on my coat and headed outside. A walk would clear my head. Huh, this is completely different. Alright, I'm intrigued. I stepped outside and shivered. Despite being early spring, it was still freezing. I headed out into the city, not really sure where I was going. Maybe the park? but it probably wasn't safe. Most parks were technically closed at dusk to try and prevent people from wandering around in the dark, dealing drugs, or being mugged, or whatever they thought someone might do in there. Back home, Central Park had a lot of events in the evenings, and plenty of people would be around, but even then there were some areas it was wise to stay away from. Maybe just a quick stroll around the block would be better. While I pondered this, a head of brilliant blonde hair glimmering in the moonlight caught my attention. Ashley? Is that you?
Flynn?
What are you doing out? It's the middle of the night. Don't you know how dangerous that is?
Speak for yourself.
Well, I couldn't argue with her there.
What are you doing out here?
I was just on a walk. What were you doing?
Same thing.
Well, it is dangerous for us to walk alone. We should go together, for safety's sake. I crossed my fingers hoping this would work. Smooth, Flynn. Really smooth. Ashley looked away, but nodded.
I guess that's probably a good idea.
I fell into step beside Ashley, my heart beating hard as a drum. She was being more than civil this time. Almost friendly. Did that mean she forgave me? Was she at least considering it? My thoughts raced, but I couldn't think of anything to say. My mouth was dry, and I coughed to clear my throat. Come on, Flynn. Think! Now is your chance. You've been rehearsing this in your mind for weeks, and now that the opportunity has finally arrived, you're just... What was that? I stole a quick glance at Ashley and froze with shock. You're crying! Ashley blinked at me through watery eyes, covering her face with her hand. Why are you crying? Oh my god, what's wrong? Are you hurt? What happened?
Of course I'm hurt! You hurt me, stupid!
Ash, I'm so sorry. I've wanted to talk to you for so long.
I don't want to talk to you! I want to hate you, but I can't! You won't let me hate you, and that makes me really, really want to hate you! As hard as I try, I can't! I still love you, and it's the worst feeling in the world!
Ash. I hesitantly put my arms around her. When she didn't immediately throw me off, I rubbed her back. I've been trying to explain this for so long. I was framed. I don't care if you don't believe me, but I would never do that to the hostel. I didn't need that money, and I would never have risked losing my place to live. I would never have wanted to risk losing you. I know you may not believe me, but won't you at least give me a second chance? Ashley sniffed. Her tears were coming less frequently now, and she could form coherent sentences again.
Well, I guess your actions don't match up with the actions of a thief. A thief should have just made off with the money, not stuck around with us.
See?
But what if you're tricking me?
There's no reason for me to. But I guess that's not a good defense. I guess you'll just have to take a leap of faith.
Really? You're telling me to take a leap of faith and trust somebody without any reason? My, how the tables have turned.
Ugh. That probably wasn't helping my case. I held her tighter against the encroaching cold and waited for her decision.
Well, I guess I'll trust you again. I can't seem to make myself not trust you.
Ash! I hugged her tightly and she gasped against me.
Too tight!
Oh, sorry! I released her and beamed. Thank you so much. Does this mean we're dating again? Can I take you out again? Will you come over and tell me about your day and we can go see that one movie like we planned way back?
Yes, all of the things. Let's just start as if nothing at all changed. Sound good?
Sounds more than good. Sounds wonderful. Ash, is it okay if I kiss you? He says with that winky face. Ashley smiled and pulled me into a kiss herself. Ashley and I walked back to the hostel together, both happier than we'd been in weeks. With her back, I felt on top of the world. I could do anything. That was pretty cute. Even though she's still kind of ridiculous. That resolving of that, I think, was cuter than the one that Malia and Ashley had. Although they were similar. Someone was knocking on my door.
Flynn, are you free? I brought tea and biscuits for a study break.
Biscuits? I looked at the plate of sandwich cookies for a moment in confusion before remembering. England, right. Thank you. Hey Ash, I know the British call cookies biscuits, but do you guys ever eat American-style biscuits?
What's an American biscuit?
Like biscuits and gravy.
Oh, that gave me the most horrible mental image of chocolate digestives covered in Bovril.
I have no idea what you just said.
Good, it was disgusting. So what is an American biscuit like by itself?
Bready, buttery, not too big, usually round.
A bap? A scone?
Never mind. I'll just have to get you some if you're ever in America.
Or you could bake me some.
Maybe after exams are over. It was such a relief having things back to normal between us. It's kinda like a muffin? Like an English muffin? Kinda? Alright. Oh, right, okay. The boating escapade.
Ready to go boating?
Yay.
You'll love it!
Ashley ignored my unenthusiastic reply and shoved me up the boarding ramp. Her friend's brother, or brother's friend, I forgot which, owned a small boat that he occasionally took out for fishing and general boating activities. Excuse me, whatever they were. I asked why anyone would ever want to go boating for fun, but Ashley just laughed as if I had made a great joke. And now that all the exams were over and we had nothing but time on our hands, here we were. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
You get seasick?
No, I get nerves. Accidents happen on boats, you know. You drift offshore, then a storm comes up and you capsize and are caught in the undertow and never seen again.
Flynn, you don't have a traumatic boat-related past you never told me about, do you? You didn't lose a friend at sea or anything.
No. I just watched too many movies. With sharks.
Well, don't worry. Nobody has ever seen a great white shark in British waters. Mostly we get basking sharks. They're harmless.
I'm not sure shark and harmless go together.
But if anything happens, I'm here to protect you. I was a lifeguard once.
She winked at me. He winks in return. I'd like to have seen that.
There are some pictures I could give you if you want. I might even still have the uniform.
Hot dog? That's the one change. Flynn, oh, you're too much for me. The boat ride was choppier than Ashley expected, and less life-threatening than I'd expected. No whales came out of nowhere to smack us with their fins. No sharks left on board. I didn't see any dolphins, but hey, I could deal. More than anything, it was fun to watch Ashley enjoy herself, her hair rippling in the wind. I'd never seen anyone sparkle so brilliantly.
Phew! I'll be so glad to get out of these clothes. I hate how swimsuits get all itchy after they've been wet.
I'd certainly like to see you take it off.
Oh?
There's something to be said for the beach aesthetic, you know. I don't think I like boats too much, but I love seeing you around water. You're like a mermaid or a siren. Absolutely gorgeous.
That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me.
Is it? I've got to start trying harder. Sure, I didn't like boats, but Ashley more than made up for that. We're getting close. I'm curious if we're gonna have like the marriage proposal epilogue again, or if it's gonna be somewhat different. I really liked that epilogue on Malia's side of things. Goodness, the days are gone. night, James. I made a lot of friends. Bye, Brendan. Alright. I don't want to skip past Ashley, so I'll just be careful. There we go. Oh. Alright. Because she knocks into us.
Flynn!
I felt the impact of her body against mine before I had a chance to react to her approach. It didn't hurt. Ashley's shape was as soft and sweet as always, but it did leave me a little off balance. I didn't know what to do. She hugged me tightly, then stepped back, her face wet.
I hate that you're leaving.
I know. I'm sorry, but I have to go.
You promise you'll write?
All right, I'll call. I'll send you collectible baseball caps from New York. I won't let you down. I promise.
I believe in you.
She kissed me then, regardless of Brendan or Jihyo or anyone else that might be watching us, leaving me with a taste of lip gloss and tears. I hated to leave, but I had to go. Alright. Okay. 2 years later. Alright, looks like we're gonna get the same epilogue. That's fine. It was a cute epilogue. I struggled through the security door, propping it open with my hip as I carried my burden through. Ashley knew I was coming, of course. It wasn't my style to fly across an entire ocean to surprise visit someone and risk them being swamped with work or homework. This cake, however, was a surprise. At least it was the beginning of the surprises. I climbed the staircase to the second floor and knocked on the door of 2B.
Flynn, is that you?
Pounding sounded from behind the door and Ashley began to fumble with the locks. Don't jump me! I'm carrying something! The door flew open and there stood Ashley, eyes sparkling, face aglow.
Flynn!
Seeing that I was compromised, she instead stepped into the hallway and started jumping up and down. I pushed my way into her new room, Ashley bouncing after me, and set the cake down on her kitchen table. Then, finally, I hugged Ashley and pulled her into a passionate kiss. Huh, that's different. What did Malia do at this point?
I was worried you missed your flight.
I texted that I was on my way. I had to get this. I jerked a hand at the cake and Ashley gasped as if seeing it for the first time.
Happy 2-year anniversary. Oh, Flynn!
I waved away her happy tears, despite how happy I was to see how much it meant to her. This place looks pretty different in person than it does on your webcam.
I hope that's not a bad thing.
Of course it isn't. Plus, there is way more room. 2 people could comfortably live here. A blush tinted Ashley's face, and she busied herself with opening the cake lid and grabbing plates.
Yeah, I just thought I could use some more space. You never know when it'll come in handy.
That's my Ashley, always thinking ahead. She beamed and readied some cups of milk.
So, I'm sure you're starving. Let's eat.
Cake first?
Of course! The meal I made can wait.
I knew it. I warned her against making food for me. Flights didn't sit with me well, but I should have expected better. We sat down and I took the knives from her, serving up the pieces of cake. As Ashley ate, I toyed with my fork, watching her. Don't eat so fast!
It's my favorite kind, though. You're so thoughtful.
Ashley took another bite and startled. An odd look crossed her face and she spit something out into the palm of her hand. It was a ring.
Oh my god.
Ashley Kingsbury. I got down on my knees next to her, grinning like a Cheshire cat. You have made me the happiest I have ever been, and I think we can keep this going. Forever. So will you marry me?
Ah!
Oh god, Ashley!
Yes, I definitely will!
Ashley, not so loud. People will...
Thank you so much, Flynn. I love you so much. It's a good thing I got this new job, or British immigration would never let you in.
Think you can convince them?
Of course I can. I'm the best.
Yes, you are. I pulled Ashley into my arms as she wiped at her face and ran my fingers through her hair. Now then, ready to have some fun?
Am I ever?
Who could have known that we would end up like this? It was the start of a new life for us, and this one I was more than happy to live.
Still a good epilogue. I'm so curious about that one change in the epilogue that was different, where he passionately kissed her. What did Malia do? Like, just pat her on the head? I don't remember. Oh, that's funny. Well, that was good. Good old Ash. Still, she's a number 2 right now on the Flynn side of things, so that's a good place to be. And we definitely got the good ending, so yeah, now we'll try for the neutral and bad end, or is it bad end? Yeah, I think it is bad end. Why am I so full of gas all of a sudden? Excuse me. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I am pleasantly pleased that there was as much variation as there was with Ashley compared to the other 2 routes we've done so far as Flynn. So that was good to see. I'm happy that we went through that. And yeah, let's see if there's any differences in the new... There will be some differences in the choices I do, because those scenes were never part of the Malia side of things anyway, so there should be some more changes upcoming. So it'll be good to see. Hopefully I'll see you over there as well, guys. Until next time, I will see you later.